Welcome to the Beyond Divorce Embracing Change podcast. My name is Michael Flores, and I will be your host while we explore the complex journey of divorce with empathy, insight, and practical knowledge. Whether you're contemplating separation, in a divorce, or looking for support post-divorce, our episodes provide expert guidance, stories, and strategies to help you through every step of the process. We are actual therapists, helping clients who sit on our couches every day through their difficulties of divorce. You are not alone. Join us as we delve in and find solutions that give you hope again. We're glad you're here.
This podcast is not intended to replace legal or personal help. This podcast is for informational purposes only.
We're back here with Jinohn, who has actually got, yes, John, thank you for being here. Wonderful topic, actually. And this is for the mamas in the house.
Mamas.
Yeah, if you're a mama, you're in the right place. You know, do you think that this particular episode, if dads were to listen to it, it wouldn't still be a little bit helpful?
Well, I think it'd be helpful to kind of understand from a mom's point of view.
Yeah. You know,
kind of what they may or may not be feeling.
We have a technique for that.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
But I agree with you. Getting it for the perspective, you know.
Yeah, just for an understanding, not necessarily to use against anybody or, I mean, we're going to word it so you can't use it against them.
Well, I mean, if your goal is to go against them, then, I mean, we probably can't stop you, but I'll tell you, it'll mess things up for you, your child, and everyone else. If you're doing it to learn and grow from it, then that's awesome. But for you mamas that are listening, I think you're going to get a lot out of today. And Jinohn's idea to do this topic was really awesome. And I was like, that's super significant, Jinohn. So I think that'll be so helpful to the mamas out there. So you mamas in the house, thanks for being here. We're glad you're listening, and let's get you some information to help you. So Jinohn, I think we need to start with, this is really about mamas realizing their babies are not with them 24/7.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like we're sharing our baby now.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes. And I'm a new mom, and I'll tell you, my mind goes down the rabbit hole sometimes, and I'm just like, what if, I had to share my kid, like my kid had to share his time between me and my husband, like if my husband we got divorced, and I was like, could I do it? And the answer is no.
That's why I love you. You're so honest. I'm going to be honest with you right now. As of right now.
At this very moment, the answer is no. But we're going to kind of go through and we're going to kind of talk about how you can do it. And I'm probably going to teach myself a little bit how I can probably do it too. Because it can be done. It's being done by millions and millions of people. But we want it to be done well. Not just for mamas, but for their kids, because...
there's... And you're right, Jinohn. And there's one thing I've said to moms and dads, and I actually I've had a very unique response to it. And what I mean by that is, like, you could tell they were feeling it. Like, they could feel me in that moment. They could feel the comment I made. And I said, I said this to moms and dads. I need you to know something, okay? I said this as a therapist. I need you to know something. I am married. I've been married. I have children with my wife. I have 3 kids. I cannot imagine one day not being able to tuck them in at night. Like, knowing that there's going to come multiple nights over the course of now until they age out that I'm not going to get to tuck my kids in at night. That's like a routine thing where I'll kiss the kids goodnight or whatever. I know when I leave work today, I'm going home, my kids are there. Mm-hmm. But there are times when you go home, they're not there. And I can't imagine what that feels like. For me to even try to interpret that would be wrong because I don't know it. Mm-hmm. Don't think that I don't think that. Yeah. About what you're dealing with. Yeah. And they'll get emotional on me. And I can see where that pain's coming from because it is not, that wasn't the dream for most of people, was to be in that position, right?
I'm pretty sure they didn't be like, let's get married and have kids and then get divorced and see what happens.
So we get it.
It's definitely not.
This is hard, and this is why we're talking about it. So let's get into some of that. Let's talk about what's something that they should start with, Jinohn, when realizing you're sharing your kid.
Well, kind of like what I said, millions of people are doing it. So normalizing the experience that mamas, I can only speak for moms.
Speak for the moms. Mamas are listening.
it is normal to feel the anxiety or the mix of emotions of I'm scared that my kid is going. I am grieving the loss of my divorce, the family that we had. And, it's a reality. Once your kid is out of the house and they're living with your ex-spouse or your estranged, husband or something like that, that's a reality check that, yeah, this is happening. Like, this is no longer a family unit that's together. It is,
Yeah, my grandma said mis pollitos, her chickens, her baby chicks. And my grandma told me the story the other day. My dad is a grandpa and my uncles are grandpas. And it's funny to me because the other day they were there visiting my grandma, and my grandma tells me a story how the two of them were like, one of them says, the older brother or the younger brother, he reaches his hand out and says, "Kiss my hand," to his older brother. And the older brother were my uncles. The other brother goes, No, I'm the older one. You kiss my hand. And they just started laughing right in front of my grandma. And my grandma just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And she's telling me about it. And I said, "What did you like?" Me being the therapist. "What did you like about that?"
Right.
She said, "I'm getting to watch my babies be playful and enjoy each other." To her, they're always her children. Those are grandpas.
Yeah.
They're grandparents. But to her, those are her kids. So, long story short, I guess what I would tell mamas is, just because your kid is spending time with their dad or they're away doesn't take away the fact that you're not still mom. You're still mom. Yeah. And it's hard, and you got to normalize that. Like, this is hard. And so I agree. I think that's a very important part. I have a notation here. It says, maybe it's important for us to talk about how divorce disrupts a mother's sense of safety as a protector of the children. What do you think that means for these moms?
Yeah. So in my mind, so when you're in a marriage, obviously, like, I think, and I say obviously, but there's kind of like this traditional role where mom takes care of the kids mostly, and dad's there.
Mom's the caretaker.
Yeah. And I will say, like, even in nature, like, it's the mom who takes care of the babies. It's the mom who is the protector. You think about it, like, if you see like a baby bear cub, like, you better not touch it or go near it because the mama bear is going to come and take your head off, And that's kind of what it is. And so the thing is that when your kid is gone, you don't necessarily feel like you can be that protector, or you can have that role because they're not there with you,
Right.
And so that's
what it's saying. Divorce disrupts that for you. It is a disruption for how do I protect them? How do I take care of them? And it makes it even harder if the kid's coming back to the mom and complaining about dad's house.
Right.
Can you imagine how much harder that is for mama bear?
Or even, I'll just do like a simple, like, kid is riding a bike with dad and they scrape their knee, and then, they come back and they tell you, like, "Oh my God, if I was there, this would have been happening, or I could have prevented this, or, or dad should have done this, and then we could have prevented," that kind of stuff. Like, that.
Dad didn't have knee pads on you?
Yeah, like, there's so much that I think that moms probably think about, and dads are probably like, "Let's just go and let's do it. Let's see what happens," And moms are like,
"Fine, let's go.
I'll put a little bubble around you, my baby."
That's right. It's right. And I guess what we're talking about is the nature of mothers to stay in the role of protector.
Right.
And when you become the protector of your child from their father, right, the father can misinterpret that about the moms.
Yes.
And that's where I would tell the moms, it's normal for you, yes, but it's not normal for the external person who's not you. Dads will never know what a mother is.
Never.
They won't, will they?
Never.
Yeah, you tell them, Jinohn. It's true. I watch.
Michael,
I watch 3 of my kids be born, and I watch Mama every day, and I'm going to tell you, there's no way I can do what she does. Not to that extent. That doesn't mean that if I had to, I couldn't. What it means is that she has a better way of approaching it because there's something, that child is from her. You had your son, and he is part of you. I'm sorry. He was born of you. So I get it. And I think in a divorce, sometimes we lose that a little bit. You know what I mean? So it makes complete sense.
It's just like a mother losing part of herself, kind of,
right.
know? Yeah.
Right. And I think one of the key takeaways in this particular section is that the need for control is usually signaling a pain, not necessarily a failure.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that for them?
You're not a failure as a mom, right?
There it is.
because the marriage did not work, it doesn't mean that you're a failure as a mother, a failure as a wife necessarily. I don't know. Like,
marriage failed. Yeah.
Marriage failed. I'm not saying that you're as a wife failed, but whatever.
Yeah. Mom and wife are two different roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there is a pain, I think, when you can't do and be and think and feel for your child when you're a mother.
There's a moment of release, isn't there? I have to release.
Yeah, or like a severance, kind of.
Yeah.
There's like an initial, there's a line to cut the cord, but I mean.
Yeah, cut the cord.
And that can be painful.
And you know what happens, I think, when moms don't do that well, I get worried that the kids age up, become more independent, and force the mothers to cut that cord, which is even more hurtful to the mom.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like you find that, where can I give in this situation? That doesn't mean if my child struggles or there's a struggle, that doesn't mean you're failing as a mom, does it?
Oh, no.
And I think that's where I think the mamas are struggling is they think it's a representation that I fail as a mom because of X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I see that all the time, like on Facebook, and I'm in like the groups and stuff. So many women will say, I feel like a failure because my kid isn't eating. And I'm like,
yeah,
it's not you.
So this kind of segues in. How are moms, how is this control that moms are showing up? Can you think of your own situation, or should I not ask that? Like, how do you know when it's showing up for you? And you're like, ooh.
Okay, so
this is fun.
Okay, so I'm not divorced, so I do know how it shows up in divorce situations. But I'll tell you a story about me. So even yesterday, my child goes to daycare. We have there's an app. They give you updates of kind of like what he's doing. We get pictures and stuff, and he eats at this time, whatever else, diaper changes, all that. Now, when he went to daycare at the beginning, I was hovering and watching that app like a hawk, counting the hours. He needs to eat every 2 hours, and he needs to take a nap every 2 hours. Why is he not taking a nap? Is he crying? That kind of stuff.
Yep.
Hovered. So that's how, my control. I'll say control as a mother. We want to make sure our kids are okay, and I think that's the bottom line. But yet what we do is we just kind of hover and we just say, this needs to happen. This is that. We get very structured, I think. I'm going to use the word structure.
There you go.
We get very structured. But I'll say even just yesterday, I was like, I'm getting better because I'm not watching the app all the time. I wait about 3 or 4 hours before I go back.
I give myself another hour.
However, I noticed that he did not sleep for about 6 hours. So yes, I messaged the daycare and I said, hey, has my son had a nap yet? And it just so happened that he went to, he actually went to sleep at that time. But I will say that it comes up in just, wanting to ask questions and monitoring. I mean, I'll tell you, I look at cameras. If the daycare had a camera, Lord knows I wouldn't get any work done here.
I think,
thank God they don't.
And you know what, Jinohn, I think what we're saying is we're normalizing this for them. We're telling the moms, like, hey, we get, that the hovering is a normal thing. You're a mother, that you're going to do that. It's how, there's two things you got to remember. Is your hovering truly in a protective sense, or does it send the signal to the parent, the dad, right, that you're cutting off their ability to also be parent with you?
Yeah,
that's what they may feel. I'm not saying you have to at least be cognizant of that, okay? But here's where I'm concerned for the kid, and I think it speaks to it right here. It says how kids experience this control that shows up can influence a loyalty bind and put emotional pressure on them. Speak to what children, especially as a therapist, we've seen this. How are children expressing and showing that hoveringness and that control that mama may show? How does it play out on the child?
So I'm thinking back to some of the experiences that I've had in sessions with kids. And a lot of times what happens is you can have a hovering parent. And since we're doing mothers, we'll have a hovering mother.
Right.
And it will create anxiety in that child when they are with the other parent, because
the child's experiencing anxiety with the other parent.
Yes.
Because of the hoveringness of one.
Yes.
Oh.
Because this is not good enough. I should be doing this. And it comes with like, if let's say if mom's like, the kid comes back home and mom is like, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you get this? Did you get that? And it's not happening at dad's house.
Right.
And so now the kids are like, oh my gosh, I'm at dad's house and I'm not safe. I'm at dad's house and he's not doing what mom's doing. And this is not good. So that creates so much. It creates anxiety with the child, but it can also create like, it's like loyalty binds, right? Like, I need to be loyal to my mom because she's my protector and she's, and she has my best interest. But, dad, he's not doing right, or he should be doing this. And so therefore I'm more attached to mom, or, anything like create some enmeshment and all that. So that can be a really big problem.
And it leads to this other section where it says protective concern versus a fear-based interference.
Yes.
And I think with the way I've seen the fear-based interference happen with moms, and I know a lot of times it's not intentional, they'll parentify their children because that fear that they have about the kids being over there with dad, or I'm not there to help, or I'm not there to take care of X, Y, or Z, almost like they won't let dad fail. Like, if he's going to screw up as a dad, it's not like you're going to go anywhere, mom, you're still there. Okay? But you're so terrified of that happening because you don't want the kid to go through this horrible experience.
Right.
When you go fear-based, you might play it out as when the kid leaves, the kid can sense your fear. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope your dad does X, or make sure you do this, or make sure you do that. All that anxiety starts spewing out of you. And so who do you think's carrying all that?
They're carrying that with them to dad's house, right?
Correct.
I have to make sure I do this. I have to make sure I do that.
Yep.
And it becomes mom's household, almost at dad's house, right?
And dads say that.
And dads are like, you just take over, you just, and
yeah, I feel like mom's still in my house. I've had a dad say exactly that to me. I feel like mom's still in my house. And I'm sorry, maybe some of these moms maybe do want to be in that house still. I mean, so goal accomplished, but I will say this, you're just making it more difficult for your child because that parent is going to reject it. And so now the co-parenting relationship is affected by that process, right? And the kids is struggling with that. They're managing that emotional pressure that they have, which could lead into loyalty binds and parentifying behavior and things like that.
Yeah. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
We have a camera in our living room because our dog is insane. And so, but the thing is, when my husband will pick up our son before I get home, and there are times, I will say, that I watch the camera. And there was something that I messaged my husband and I said, you should be doing this, or whatever it is. I don't know what I said, but he was like, oh, big mother's watching. And then after that, I was like, oh my God, I better not. I better need to stop,
Your husband said that?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
And he said it to the camera because he knew I was watching it. But I'm telling you, like, so that, and the thing is that can impede my husband's need or ability or even want to just be like, I'm a parent, or have that confidence that he's a parent and he can do it and all that.
You're saying that can impede his own confidence in being a parent.
And the thing is, like, if that happens in a marriage, how much more so is it going to happen when a kid is far away and it's somebody else out that maybe you don't trust, maybe you don't like, maybe you feel betrayed by?
Yeah, the divorce can heighten that.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever was broken in the marriage gets heightened sometimes in the divorce, for sure. I think that's an important way to say that.
Yep.
The balance of staying emotionally available to your child without interrogating your child or interrogating the process, because the emotional availability is kind of the presence. Like, even when they're over there, I'm still here. The kid knows you're there. The kid knows mom's there. They're present. You've made that clear. And so staying emotionally available, right, without the need to control. Gosh, and that's so hard.
It's kind of like with one of my kiddos, she is really stuck to her mom, and but when she's at dad's house, it was a whole thing, you guys, but when she's at dad's house, it's just horrible. But we talked about a string, and there's a book called, I don't know, we'll find it, put it in the link in the bio, something about strings. And so I told the kid, I said, you have a connection with mom, so but think about your connection with mom as a string.
Okay.
And that string is, I say, and we had to talk to mom too, that string, you'll know if it's severed, if something happens, something's wrong, and that's like was intuition versus anxiety driven is the, oh, something's wrong with my kiddo. Is it anxiety driven or is it intuition? Intuition is that string's broken and something has happened. And that's plenty of times. I know like moms who said something happened with my kid and it ended up that there was like a tragedy, you know?
Oh, goodness.
But they just knew because that string was broken. Or is it anxiety driven, you know? And so knowing the difference is being able to, just being able to know the difference. Is that string actually severed or is this just anxiety?
And I'm going to tell, honestly, moms that are listening to this, that's a hard one. I wish I could tell you specifically, this is how you do that. Here's how you know the difference between anxiety and intuition. Here's what I'll tell you. You'll know it's anxiety because it keeps showing up and then you keep going to find that it's not an issue.
That's what it is.
Or you keep finding that the issue is not as severe as you think it is.
Yeah.
Now you know it's angst.
Then you know it's angst. And then when you feel it again, you just remind yourself, this is angst.
Mm-hmm.
This is angst.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be different. It'll hit different when it's actually intuition.
You know, and maybe that's a good thing to say to moms too, is there's probably been times your kid actually did get hurt or something happened and you just knew it. You didn't need it. It does hit different, doesn't it?
Yeah, it hits different. And you know, moms, you know.
You know how I know this about moms though? Because I've seen my wife do this, the cries. So I'll give you an example. I've watched all three of my kids as babies grow up. And when they cried, Stephanie knew the cry better than I did. She knew exactly what that cry meant.
Yeah, what the cry meant. Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe could she have trained me on it? Probably, but she intuitively knew. They're hungry, they're tired, whatever the cry is, she knew exactly what it was that they were needing in that moment. And I look back at that and I think that's the intuition I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? Like she just knew it. Hey, if you're listening right now, I want you to take a deep breath. I know this is hard. Maybe your child is pulling away, saying things that sting, or seems caught in the middle of conflict, and it's leaving you feeling helpless and frustrated. You're not alone, and it's not your fault. That's exactly why I created the Countering Alienation course. It's a practical step-by-step program to help you recognize alienating behaviors, respond in a way that protects your relationship, and rebuild the trust with your child, even when it feels impossible. This is not about fighting your co-parent. It's about keeping your connection strong, staying grounded, and giving your child the stability and love they need. You deserve tools and guidance that you can actually use, and your child deserves the relationship only you can give. Check out the registration link in the show notes. This is the right move. You got this. Okay, so I think, so those of you may have not heard, sorry, we had a side dialogue there. This sounds important for you to know. Stephanie says that there's an inner knowing, and then there's a fear-driven. And so what she's saying, and Jinohn, you might speak on this as a mom, what she's saying is you have to take that internal look in yourself and go, is this fear-driven? You're asking yourself, is this fear-driven, or is this just a knowing, right? Like I just know it. And so when you evaluate that situation, that's how you'll know if it's angst versus as you talked about the strings.
Intuition, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about that? I mean, is that,
yeah.
I'm not a mama. Is that?
I mean, that's right. And, you know, I mean, I think, and we'll probably get into this later if we get to it, but I think that you explore that stuff with a professional, you know?
Yes.
Like what fear looks like, how to recognize it being fear, and then how to recognize it being a knowing or an intuition.
You know what I'll tell moms too in therapy, I'm glad you said that, what I've noticed is the dads will say things. This is how, if I'm a dad that throw a mom off, I'll just say, you're too controlling. And the mom then goes, you're crazy. And then what do women do? They internalize. Am I acting crazy? They think I'm going to. Don't get caught up in that piece. Become curious in that and go, what is it that you see that I'm doing that puts you in a position to feel that way about me? Because you probably are behaving in a way that feels that way, even though it is not your intention to be.
Right.
I 100% get that with moms. I don't think I've ever met a mom and said, oh, that mom was crazy. Well, not like that. I've met a mom and said that mom is overcooking. Okay, you're cooking too much. Like you might be a good cook, but boy, you're overcooking. You know, I've had a lot of overcooking mamas, but I have dads too that do the same thing because they're responding to that stuff in a very bad way, which I'm going to do an episode with Armando on. So going through this, there's another piece here. I like this part: validating mom's fear. How does that help moms?
It makes them not feel crazy.
The thing I said that the dads will do?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
But I think with the validation, there cannot be an excuse for bad behavior.
Go, Jinohn, you're there. Go.
And I'm going to talk to myself first, okay? So because the thing is, I mean, it's valid to want to protect your child. It's valid to want to know that they're okay. It's valid to, have ideas and constructive ideas of how they should be parented and how they should be taken care of. I think that's fine. I think that there is a line, and I think that there needs to be good boundaries, good co-parenting boundaries where the line oversteps into dad's kind of parenting territory. And so, but we can't use, I'm a protective mom, I'm Mama Bear, so therefore I'm just going to be running over to the dad's house every time this kid calls me. I think that's bad behavior, or it can turn into bad behavior.
It can turn into, yes.
Or, I'm going to just continue to question my kiddo, and make sure that everything is okay because I don't believe that dad is doing everything that I would do or doing it the way that I would do it. I think that turns into bad behavior. I'm going to say bad behavior is poor behavior, poor decision making, because that turns into anxiety for the kiddo.
Right.
So I think that your feelings are always valid. How you feel is valid. How you feel as a mother, how you feel as a protector, how you feel as, just in general. But there comes a time where you have to take responsibility for how you act upon your new role as a protector.
Yes.
But a divorcee.
I love it. And I'm going to do this. I want to bring it all together. So What I'm going to do, Jinohn, if it's okay, I'm going to give some key takeaways.
Do it.
And then if you want to comment on those or give a little bit more, let's do that. Start with the first key takeaway, what I think is important.
That's right.
The need for control in yourself is typically signaling pain, not a failure.
And that is that severance, right? Kid is no longer with you full time. You don't get to go every day and tuck the kiddo in because some days are going to be at dad's. That is the pain. But it's not a failure as a mother.
Ooh, it's a pain. It's not a failure as a mother.
Succinct.
I almost want to say it again, just to make sure I got it.
You got it.
Okay.
Put the link in the bio.
Got it. Yeah. Everything's in the bio. Just read the bio. No kidding. Okay. Next key takeaway. Control can unintentionally harm a relationship that you're trying to protect.
Yes. Trying to protect your relationship with your kiddo, trying to protect your kiddo in general, that can actually do more harm. Having, questioning all the time and, increasing their anxiety. Honestly, that could even just backfire where kid can be like, Mom, you're too much. And I would just go to dad's because you're being too much. That could be a thing too.
I've had it. I've seen it. I've seen it in therapy.
And the thing is it's like, I'm just trying to protect you. It's like, no, Mom, back off.
Well, because the kid can interpret protection as prevention. And that's that line we were talking about earlier, that this versus that. And protection, prevention. And I have every person, and I'm going to say this, in alienation, every time I've worked with people say alienation is this. Yes, it does. Okay. It does. I'm just going to say it. It does. It's a behavior. Okay. It's not like a diagnostic. Alienation is a behavior. But here's the thing I'm going to say that. An alienating parent will always tell you they're protecting. And they probably are. It may have started with that.
Yeah.
But the behavior that they're doing is truly a prevention. Make sense? Not a protection.
Gotcha.
Okay? I can't prevent car accidents, but I can protect car accidents. I can put a seatbelt on. I can follow the rules. That's protection, not prevention. Prevention is you can't get in the car.
Right.
You get the difference?
Yep.
Okay, there we go. So the next takeaway, I'd say, you can be present without hovering.
That's what I do now for daycare stuff.
I'm present.
I'm present.
There you go.
Because I look at that app.
Yeah.
Just looked at it before this podcast.
Miss Marr, present. She's there.
But I no longer hover.
There you go.
I'm no longer looking at it during my sessions. I'm no looking. I don't even look at it between sessions anymore,
You said something and you just made me think of something for the daddies.
Ooh.
Okay, mamas, I'm going to give you an example of daddies. Have you ever seen daddies at sports events with their sons?
And they're pacing back and forth.
Are they present or are they hovering? Get the ball, rebound, run. Blah, blah, blah. Is that kid like that when the dad's doing that crap from the stands?
Not.
No, they hate it. You're yelling at me from the stands to do this, do this, do this, do this. They got a coach, but yet you got the parent, the dad in the stands yelling at the kid, right? I see it every time. Games are going on right now. Go watch a football game. You'll know whose kid's the daddy is. You'll hear him yelling. That is hovering. That is not a present father. That is a hovering father. A present father watches the kid play the game. They sit in the stands and they cheer their kid. Guess when they have the conversation? If there's any kind of change or we can do this a little better, it's after the game. And even then, sometimes the kids aren't interested in talking about it yet. That's why they need the coach, and the coach becomes the therapist. Man, I need to use that more, that analogy. You did that to me.
You're welcome.
I know, right? I'm trying to help mamas understand what it looks like from the dad's perspective by giving you an example of how dads do it wrong.
Or if dads are listening.
Because the mama told me.
So we're learning from experience.
The dad's learning too. Look, mama told me, she looked at me and she said, how many times have you yelled at the kids from the stands and they got better as a result? And she's right. They don't. They just get pissed off at me. And I was hovering. If I want to be that in it, I got to be the assistant coach or got to be the coach.
You got to be in it, right?
Right. So the best way to do that is because I don't have the time to be in it like that, is I go as a present father, which is I go to watch my kid have a good time. Don't think I don't think things from the stands the whole time going, oh my gosh, but yelling at them and just, I don't know. I just realized that's what moms and dads do the same thing. Dads do it at sports. Right?
Moms do it with caregiving. Yeah.
And moms do it with caregiving. Gosh, Jinohn, that was good. We're there.
We fixed it.
We fixed it. Okay. Finish with this. Remember, your feelings are valid, right? It's how you act on it, right?
Yes.
Your feelings, mama, they're valid. It's how you're acting on it. The thing you said that I loved is learn the lines of parental boundaries. And remembering, this is the part I'm adding, remembering that a parental boundary is not to keep things out.
Yeah.
It's to protect what's in.
Okay.
See, I think people think that a boundary is to a boundary is to keep things out. You make a boundary to protect what's in.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
I agree.
Yeah. So learning that with your co-parent, what those parental boundaries are like. What is dad's parental boundary? What does that look like? And it's okay if you don't agree on it. That's when you have collaborative conversation, and that's when we can be a coach and happy to help you with. Right?
Yep.
Miss Parent Facilitator over here.
Hello.
That's right. Okay. So let's just say the last piece here, I would encourage you to work with professionals if the fear continues to be persistent or escalating. Yeah. Would you agree with that?
100%. I mean, if it's too much, what's not going to change is your child's not going to not go to their dad's house. That's not going to change. So what has to change is something within you to be able to be okay with that happening.
So this last key takeaway, which I thought was good, high conflict requires strategy, not blame. Think about that. Think about the times we worked with families where there's issues. They start with blame. They end with strategy. High conflict requires strategy is how you develop together as co-parents a way to, right, to acknowledge the event that's happening, that's an occurrence rather than blaming. Can I tell you what I did with these two co-parents the other day? I know mamas, this might be for you, but we're going to wrap this up. I got to tell you what I did. I had these.
Short.
I'll be short. I'm going to be quick. I had a mom and dad come in, and all I did was point out what they did well to get solutions. I watched them solve something in the office. And I said, I noticed you did something. I said, you wanted to make a change on something, so you didn't tell dad, we got to change this. You asked dad, hey, would you be opposed to this being different, right? Would you be against this? And dad says, well, what do you think it should look like? So now dad's asking, what do you suggest? How should that go? You then offered. Dad disagreed. Dad then offered an alternative. And y'all kept doing this. How about this? How about this? How about this? How about this? Until you landed somewhere you both felt good about. And within 15 minutes, you solved a problem you've been dealing with for 8 months. Just by not asking why you don't like it, and this is my reasons why we should do it different. You didn't get into all that.
Right.
This is what I'm hoping for. How do we get there? What do you suggest? Right? You didn't like the response back. Well, I don't think that will work. I'm like, okay, what do you suggest? Well, I think we should do this. Well, I don't know if I can do that. Can we do this instead? You keep offering back and forth. They were putting stuff in. And I'm going to tell you, these mamas, when you do that, like when you talk to the dads and you're kind of like, oh, I want to get that sense of control, which means fear, right? High control means high fear. It's okay to go to the dads and just say, I have these feelings. It may just be the mama in me, but I want to talk through it so we can get to a resolution on it. It's okay. That's what we want you to do.
Right? Yeah.
So
and
anyway,
a lot of your fears might subside just by talking to the other parent.
Fears usually do subside through it. Yeah, as you talk through it, I agree.
I've had parents to do that, and it's like, oh, I thought that this and this and this, and it's like, now that I'm hearing this, I'm fine, and I'm like, really? Thousands of dollars later and being in court, and all you had to do was just listen. But anyways, I'm
you said that. No, but you think it's just like, wait.
Yeah.
All I can say is, for you mamas out there, I love what you are. I love a lot of these kids that have had success can't do it without you. Just take a self audit on how you behave with those feelings you feel, and that's a good step one. Thank you so much, John. What a topic! It's good. What a great topic. Thank you so much for being here, everyone, and keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward.
Thank you.